You ever get fined $79 for your lawn sounds ridiculous, right? Well, imagine getting that fine slapped on you by your neighborhood HOA, and then finding out they've been targeting first responders like it's some personal vendetta. Yeah, that happened to Javier Morales, the new chief of police in Cedar Grove. But what Karen Benson, the power-hungry HOA board member, didn't realize was that she'd just picked a fight with the wrong guy. It all started one ordinary morning. Javier was heading out after a long night shift, coffee in hand, ready to tackle another day at the station. Then, out of nowhere, a neon green notice stuck under his windshield wiper caught his eye. HOA violation $79, fine for improper lawn maintenance. Javier looked out at his yard, 15 years of care. Neat, green, not perfect, but never a problem before. And now this. Before he could say a word, the clicking of heels approached sharp, deliberate. Karen Benson, the new HOA board member, strutted down the street with a tablet in hand, already ready to play judge and jury. She barely glanced at Javier's lawn, then smugly declared, "Your grass is 3.2 inches. Violation." He sighed, trying to stay calm. "I've been busy with a major case. I'll mow it this weekend." But Karen just smiled, like she had a game plan nobody else saw. And she did. Karen wasn't just about enforcing rules, she was about control. Garden gnomes, violations. Mailbox color, not approved. And this was just the beginning. Javier watched as Karen marched on to Emily Sanchez's house. Emily, a worn-out ER nurse who'd just finished a brutal 16-hour shift. Karen snapped photos, typed away, and slapped on fines for garbage bins left out too long. The message was clear: if you work hard and keep odd hours, Karen would find a way to punish you. Javier started digging. Posts flooded the neighborhood Facebook group. David, a firefighter, fined for his kid's basketball hoop. The elderly Martinez couple cited for rose bushes. Even Mr. Henderson, a retired teacher, got fined for parking his own car in his driveway. It wasn't about the rules. It was personal. Then things got real. One evening, Javier returned from a double shift to find two black SUVs blocking his driveway, HOA security, plastered on the sides. Karen was there, clicking away, taking pictures of his garden hose. Mailbox. Welcome, Matt. Javier confronted her. "You're blocking my driveway," she smirked, listing his alleged offenses like a prosecutor, building a case. Unpaid fines, unapproved decorations, wrong mailbox shade. He stayed calm, but inside, he was boiling. That's when Javier noticed the badges on those security guards too shiny, too fake. No license for their company existed. Even more, Karen's brother owned that so-called security company. And guess what? No proper business registration, either. She'd been funneling HOA funds to her family, all while harassing neighbors. Javier's investigation unveiled more. Karen was running an unlicensed daycare from her garage, 6 kids in unsafe conditions, risking everyone's lives if there was a fire. She'd illegally extended her fence, blocked emergency vehicle access, and worse, targeted first responders with punitive fines. The community was being terrorized. At the HOA meeting, Javier laid out the evidence like a seasoned detective. Karen's confident facade cracked as neighbors voiced months of frustration and fear. The vote was unanimous. Karen was removed and banned for life from the board. But as she stormed out, heels clicking furiously, she hissed, "This isn't over." The neighborhood began to heal, slowly reclaiming the peace Karen tried to steal. Javier kept a thank you note from his neighbors on his desk, a quiet reminder that sometimes justice doesn't come from badges or courtrooms, but from standing up when it counts. But here's the real question: was Karen just a greedy bully, or a symptom of a bigger problem with power and control hiding behind rules? How far should a community go to enforce standards before it becomes harassment? What do you think? Is strict order worth the cost of freedom? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk about where lines should be drawn in neighborhoods like this. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more real-life tales that make you think. Because sometimes, the loudest voices are the ones who refuse to stay silent.